Okay, so once you're ready, we can start exporting them into Sketchfab. So go to File, Export Textures, and in an output template, you can set it to Sketchfab and just hit Export. You may have to make an account, but it's a free account, and you will get to share your models with your friends or as a portfolio work. So I'll just hit Export. It'll take a while. And for now, I'll just call this test gun, I guess. And then just hit upload. Okay, so once it's done uploading, it'll probably show something like this, which looks super terrible, but we can go and edit our 3D settings. For the background, I usually just like to make it a darkish color. For the field of view, I usually like it to be maybe around 50, I guess, or 45, so that you can at least see a bit of the front a bit better. And in the post-processing, turn on screen space reflections. I'll just make everything look a lot more deep, and turn on the ambient occlusion, but I don't want it to be too strong, so I'll just turn it down a bit. Turn up the sharpness, but again, not too strong, maybe around this much. And for now, I'll just leave this part as it is. For the lighting, I do like the industrial room. If you were to hit Alt and right click, you can rotate your HDR around, and I'll just have it so that this part is lit pretty well. So you can also play with your brightness a bit. I won't turn it up too much, maybe around this much is fine. And we can definitely just start having our ground shadows as well. Now, instead of the shadow catcher, I'll have it be a baked ambient occlusion. And that just makes it so that it looks like it has really nice shadow. And I think the screen space is a bit too strong, so I'll just turn it down a bit. Okay, so something like this. Now, I'll turn on the lights, but I'll just disable these two because I'm gonna just make sure this one is rotated to the top. Usually I just set it to something pretty high so I can see it a bit better. So there's a pretty nice one. I'll just have it be like a slightly warmer light. Like so. Now just turn it down a bit and we can turn on our second light. And this one I want it to be a bluish light. And I want it to just fit the rim of the gun itself. So I'm just going to rotate the light so that it hits the top of this. Okay, so something like this. And for the third light, I want it to be a pretty strong red looking light. Turn the power up and just change it to a reddish color, maybe like so. So something like this. Just turn the light down a bit now and just have it appear just a bit. I'll turn the light intensity a bit down because I'm looking more for the ambient light than the overall light over here. Okay, so this is pretty cool. We can definitely change the color of the background a bit. It can either be a cool or a warmish color. Maybe in this case, I'll just set it to something a bit cooler. Like so. We can definitely have a bit of chromatic aberration, maybe around 0.001. I definitely don't like using vignette or bloom for now. because it does make it a bit harder to look at. So for the tone mapping, I think I'll set the contrast to 0.01. Usually I like setting it up a bit. You can also just play with the saturation a bit if you like. Maybe we can start using some color balance. And I think I'll just only change the shadow and just turn it up a tiny bit. So 0.01 maybe? If I were to see the difference. I think something like this I like a bit better. Okay. So I think I'm pretty happy with this end result. I'll just set it to something like this. And make sure to also save your view. So another thing is to just hit publish when you're done with everything. But for now, let me just go back to my properties because I want to just set it to private. I think whenever you use Substance Painter for the first time to upload a 3D model, you just get Sketchfab Pro by default, which is pretty useful. I'll just set mine to private. And I'm going to hit save and publish privately. But you guys can put in all the title and description you want and publish it publicly. So if I want to see my model, there it is. And one pretty handy way of taking screenshots, just type in Sketchfab Screenshot. You'll see over here there's a labs.sketchfab thingy. You can just open it up and you can load in your 3D scene. So if I were to just go over here and load it in. So from URL, you can just copy the link and put it. Whoops. Over here. And you can render it in transparent if you want to. But for now, I'll just have it be rendered in with the background. And one really cool thing that I do is to just render it in double the resolution so that I could scale it down afterwards. Like so. Hit enter. And I think the screenshot has been exported. And now we have this new image. So thanks for following along. And thank you for DevilPiece for giving me the chance to show this tutorial series on your channel. Well, if you want to download the model, you can just download it in my gumroad. And I guess that's goodbye. Thanks for following along.